another video. So, in the last episode, well, a lot happened in the last episode. So, we tried for Waltz's true happy ending, though we weren't any closer, but I feel like we got a better idea of what's going on. But this time, we're going to be continuing Waltz's route. So, yeah. I mean, today's been a pretty good day for me, at least. New day, new shirt, new moon. But yeah, so, of course, I am joined once again by my friend. My friend Tobias the Tantalus.
Hello. I jumped in preemptively, I'm sorry.
Nah, you're fine. But yeah, so the last episode, Fritz managed to propose, he and Lucette to start courting, though, unlike in the previous routes, Fritz had I believe it was the Red Riding Hood curse. Well, he more specifically was the big bad wolf part of it. So, as a result of that reputation of him being cursed, and also his dad by association trying to usurp King Gennaro from the throne, needless to say, his PR is worse than Prince Harry and Meghan right now. But they are obviously going to try their best to fix it. But of course, there are other problems. In this ending, the Crystallums both don't exist. The Tenebrarum and the Lucis don't exist anymore because Hildur and Parfait basically cancel each other out. So as a result, there is no magic in the universe on GL. So basically, a lot of characters are going through an identity crisis right now. So let's see how they deal with that, shall we? I like this track too, so it feels weird to have to...
Oh yes, we shall.
I really like this track too, so it feels weird that I had to go out of it, but hey. Might get back to it when we load the file, who knows? Alright. So, I am happy to say that pretty soon I'm gonna get a new laptop, so... hopefully the lag will not be as dramatic as it has been the past few streams, which is great, because it's a little frustrating. Yeah, I think we're on this one. Because we played for a while last time.
Yeah. I mean, you can't be a Twitch streamer without technical difficulties.
That is true. Work. Like, or the Let's Play curse. Oh yeah, so, another thing. So, she gets captured by former witches. So, it kind of raised a lot of questions for Lucette about self-defense as a result. So, Fritz gave his mother's dagger, which it turns out that was the one thing that she did not carry the day that she passed. So, there's a lot of significance to it. So, I think it might be pretty similar to Karma's route, or Chevalier's route. I can't remember which one, but like, no, it was Chevalier's route. Where it focuses more on combat, I guess? Maybe a bit of both. I'm not sure. But maybe once I play
gonna die if we make the wrong decision.
Well, at least in the original game, that is, yes. Yes, that would be the case. Or in the case of, most of the time, it tended to be the love interest. He tended to have the bad ending, with the exception of, Waltz's end, where the bad ending happens to Lucette. But everything else, it all happened to the love interests. Which is really funny. Alright, so it looks like I think she might be telling stories to kids, but let's see. And they both sat there, grown up, yet children at heart. and it was summer. Warm, beautiful summer. I am so looking forward to warmer weather, that's for sure. It's been cold here. Oh, she's reading fairy tales to herself. Even better. Because she wasn't allowed to when she grew up, so... When I reached the end of the fairy tale, I stopped to look down at the pages, thoughtful. I'm not sure how I felt about this one. Wait, which one was it? Huh. I have to look this up now, because I don't know which tale it is. If it is a Grimm's tale, that is. The Snow Queen, that makes more sense.
Oh, the Snow Queen. You know, that is actually a really interesting story. They didn't follow it very much with, like, Frozen and everything.
No, they didn't.
It's kind of a bizarre story. Honestly, I feel like the original text would work better as a Ghibli film.
Yeah!
But... yeah.
Yeah, like, I mean...
You know, besides the fact that, like, a third of the whole thing is flowers telling her their dreams that they see. But, yeah, that's beside the point.
Yeah, I mean, we kind of technically got that idea in a way from, like, well, except it leans more towards crystals than flowers, but there's, like, this series called, like, this point-and-click adventure game we used to play called The Dream Chronicles, which kind of followed that formula. But, yeah, I kind of agree that, like... It might be better as a Ghibli concept than a Disney film, but also in a way that kind of missed out on a big opportunity because a lot of the Disney films tend to cover like brothers, just brothers or just sisters, never the brother-sister dynamic. So that's one thing they could totally change.
Yeah.
Well, here's
I hadn't really thought about that, but
yeah, unless somebody can remember a major plot where it was a brother and sister dynamic, let me know in the comments. Otherwise, I don't think there is one, or at least if there was one, it's not popular enough to really remember it, really, which is kind of sad, actually. And no, Star Wars does not count.
Because they didn't know, so...
Exactly! I snapped the book shut and gazed at the cover quietly. The Snow Queen is one of Emmeline's fairy tales. She just recently received it for her birthday and allowed me to borrow it for my reading sessions. I turned my attention to the gravestone I'm sitting in front of. Though the sky is dark, the inscription on the grave is illuminated by my lantern. It is Delora's name.
Oh, she's reading to Delora.
Yeah. I hope that you and Loria enjoyed the fairy tale at least. Loria was, Delora's daughter. She was unfortunately killed by, Hildur. I've been reading at this gravesite for the last 4 months. Originally, I only came here to set flowers on the graves, but then Fritz suggested I tried speaking to everyone. I was skeptical at first, but it turns out that reading helps lighten my mood when I'm here. I like to imagine Delora and her daughter listening to the fairy tales as I read them aloud. Something soft lands on my head, and I stop to gaze up at the sky. A single droplet makes its way down a leaf and lands on my nose. Rain?
It's been a while since it rained, hasn't it?
And it has been a while here, too. Though, apparently technically we're getting it on Tuesday. I turned to glance at Fritz. He has been leaning against the tree for the past half hour, keeping a lookout for danger while I read. I hope the pages don't get too soggy, that's another thing.
Amazing, isn't it? Even in the summer, we still have these rainy days.
He glances up at the sky and cocks his head, a soft smile on his lips. And you know, one of the times that I don't really mind the rain is in the summer. Because, like, it gives you a little bit of relief afterwards. Versus spring, it's still kind of at least like early spring especially, it's still kind of in that brink of getting out of winter, but not exactly out of the woods. Pun not intended.
Yeah, basically, I don't mind warm rain, but if it's like cold, then it's uncomfortable.
Yeah.
So. Have I told you that I love the rain?
I just imagined him like reading in like a Rod Stewart kind of voice. No, I had no idea. I pick up both the lantern and book and stand up. My gaze flickers briefly to the 4 gravestones lined up in a row. Garland, Delora, Parfait, and Mother. I've already set lilies in all 4, as I do every month. Fritz always accompanies me here on these days. Oftentimes he stands guard from somewhere nearby with a melancholy look on his face.
Well, now you know. When I was a child, my father wasn't home. I used to run outside and catch raindrops on my tongue. He always scolded me for it. Said I'd catch a cold.
I used to do that when I was a kid too. But back then I used to get a lot of perms on my hair, so my mom would just put on a shower cap on my head and let me put on my swimsuit, and then we'd just run around. Good times. It is hard to imagine a time when Alcaster worried for his son. Alcaster, the previous commander of the Order of Caldera and Fritz's father, has been banished from Angiel for more than 2 years. No one has seen him since he disappeared. Wait, he's been banished? That means he could totally come back then. Because, like...
Yeah, I was like, oh, he's still alive. I thought he had died.
Yeah, because, like, most of the endings that I've seen with him, he's dead. Or at least, like... Well, at least until, like, Rod's ending where he's imprisoned. But here he managed to get away, so... Oh boy, this is gonna be interesting if he comes back. Sometimes I wonder if Fritz ever wishes to see him again, but considering everything that happened between them, I doubt their reunion would be a happy one. I mean, considering that, like, he literally cursed him by proxy, I don't blame him if he doesn't want him back. I turn my thoughts back to our conversation. And that is the $1 million question. And did you ever catch a cold?
Yes, more than a few times. I enjoyed those sick days, though. My father would begrudgingly make me tea, and the two of us would talk about his adventures as a knight. Those were good days.
I stand corrected. He sighs.
I feel like an old man when I reminisce like this.
I am relating to this so hard right now, because I remember recalling a lot of stuff. And I feel older doing so, yet at the same time, I don't. It's like a suspended animation kind of thing, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. I poke Fritz in the shoulder with a teasing smile. Because 23 is old. No, it's not! I had to remind myself of that. I'm like, what, like 5 years older than these characters at this point?
Ancient in the eyes of a child.
He's not wrong either. Like, I bet a lot of kids would think I'm their grandmother right now.
You're a full grown up. You're old. That's how it works.
Yep.
There's no difference between 20 and 40. What are you talking about?
He takes my hand as another droplet lands on my head. The slight chill in the air gives me more reason to sidle up to him. I press myself to his side and smile when he wraps an arm around my waist. He takes the lantern from me and holds it up to light our way through the forest clearing. The two of us are at the outskirts when he turns to me.
Do you mind if I escort you to the palace and meet up with you later, princess?
What did you just call me? She knows what she wants. She knows what she wants.
We talked about this. Sorry. The title just comes so naturally. Anyway, would that be alright with you, Lucette?
And where will you be going?
I need to do some cleaning at the manor. Then, after that, I need to gather a few materials for Jurian.
Oh yeah, he still has his own place. I glance up at the sky again. I am able to see it more clearly through the canopies now. It looks cloudier, darker. The rain has picked up. My family has dinner with some esteemed guests tonight. If I run that errand with Fritz, there is a possibility I will get caught in the rain and show up late. If my presence is not required, it might be better for me to be there. I pause to consider the warmth of Fritz at my side and falter. But...
Are we gonna get a choice here?
We are!
Yeah.
But being beside... But being beside him like this is nice, especially because he's been so busy lately. Oh, God. Why? Why do you make this so hard, game? Why? This is, like, for once, this is actually, I mean, the food one is not too hard considering that, like, I know which one's favorite foods, but, like, this, though? Why?
Well, it wouldn't be a challenge if you always knew the right answer.
That is true. And I know there's still going to be a thing no matter what, but at the same time, though, what will push them forward to the doubly happily ever after?
Yeah, maybe if you accompany him to the manor, then that will bring up some, like, more memories and you'll be able to get more backstory.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Whatever.
Yeah, that's what I would do. And yet also, there's also, like, her duty as to making sure that, like, her reputation and in turn his reputation's improved through her doing her crown princessly duties. Because that's what I kind of found with, like, Waltz's ending, at least, that it kind of emphasized more of, well, at least what it seems to be implying is, like, about, like, duty and memory versus living for the future and the now. But I know each character has, like, a different approach, so what would work with one character will not necessarily work for another.
Yeah, I'm like, you could accompany him and maybe get some story. On the other hand, if you have dinner with the honored guests, like, part of me is like, if you miss that, you know, when people start talking, be like, oh, she just likes to run off with this boy. You know. Would that help your reputation, you know, that you're trying to work with? Because the public doesn't really approve of you two right now.
Yep. Though, of course, this is an otome. And in otomes, I'm like Joan Jett. I don't give a damn about my reputation. busy. I had to do it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think I might lean towards the manor, actually. And then, if it ends up feeling short, I'll try the Return to the Palace one and see what happens. It is not as if I need to be at the dinner tonight, and I haven't been able to spend much time with Fritz, so this is fine.
Oh, you're not busy today?
Not any busier than normal. It's not as if I would be gone for the rest of the night, and besides... I'm leaning closer. It is remarkable how warm he is, even now. I would much rather spend time with you while you're still here. You have a tendency to disappear when I'm not watching you.
Oh.
Dang smooth. If I take my eyes off of you for too long, you vanish into thin air. He laughs.
Every good knight knows how to be inconspicuous. And besides...
He drums his fingers gently against my hip and raises an eyebrow.
Sometimes you see more interesting things cloaked in shadow.
Oh, God. You make it sound as if you're spying on people. He sounds like a ninja.
I don't spy on people, Lisette. I'm just observant.
Isn't that what a spy does? To be observant to the nth degree?
It's like, so wait, have you been watching me when I haven't noticed? Is that what you're saying?
This is true. Fritz is incredibly perceptive.
I'm not sure how I feel about this right now.
I know! He knows more about me than anyone else. The image of you hiding in the shadows is rather ominous. God.
Not at all alluring.
Oh, good lord.
No, it's called being a creep.
He paused to face me. I didn't expect this at all. I mean, then again, I should have learned, especially with, like, Golden Knight protagonists. I should have went for the lady's choice that, like, any roguish character is going to come across. Just, if you're curious, just go to my channel, look up the lady's choice. I did one route on that story, and it was Amesbury, and it feels very similar to Waltz right now. But I feel like Amesbury is probably weirder than Waltz. I mean, Waltz always has an excuse, he was cursed, but...
You mean Fritz?
Sorry, Fritz. I meant Fritz. Fritz at least has the excuse that he was cursed. Amesbury, he literally, like, pulled a Batman. But in a really strange way. Like, Regency style. Plus, like, they both end in Z. It's like, it was gonna be rather timeless to mix them up. He pauses to face me. His eyes, so golden against his dark skin, seem to shine beneath the shade of the canopies. Neither of us speaks. Fritz brings his thumb to my bottom lip and slowly runs his thumb across it.
Lots of things happen in the shadows. Part of the allure is whatever happens is a secret, don't you think?
God. I'm just already imagining, like, GTA wasted. Fritz looks at me for the long moment, then he grins.
You never cease to amuse me.
What? What?
I just don't get this guy right now.
I know.
Like, what is happening?
Okay, I have to replay the original game. It's like, okay, what the heck is happening here? Because it feels like it's like a little bit OOC. But anyway, amuse you? He backs away from me and holds out a hand. I take it, allowing him to pull me through the last of the trees and into the town square. It's still raining. I am not amusing.
She took all the time to get to town to say that.
He took all the time with his, but then again, he just pulled. I think he just pulled through the canopy. But yeah, it took forever to say that, Lucette.
You wear your emotions on your sleeve, princess. It's precious.
You sounded like a Bond villain. I simply prefer honesty. I still have difficulty opening up to people, and I would rather not show weakness in front of anyone, but I have gotten better. Fritz?
Yes, the set.
At least he did not say the other word. You are honest with me too, right?
Yeah. Of course.
Your slow answer gives me pause, but I say nothing. Fritz's eyes are already on our surroundings, watching everything and everyone around us warily. The rain has begun to pick up, so I hold the book closer to my chest as we make our way toward his manor. We only stop to pick up food. Because apparently, fast food and...
He has
Yeah, apparently fast food in a fantasy world's a thing. The streets go colder as we walk. A bitter chill hangs in the air and I draw closer to Fritz without thinking. He wordlessly drapes an arm on my shoulder and holds the lantern closer. He glances up at the sky, a fond smile on his lips. Fritz is warm as sunshine, yet he really does love cold, rainy days, doesn't he? The two of us make our way back to his manor in peaceful silence. Well, he's lucky that they're lucky that vampires don't exist. Inside, Fritz takes everything I have and sets it down on the table. He lays out a meal for the two of us and then takes a seat at the table beside me. The meal is thankfully simple. Nothing but a variety of small sandwiches. Simplicity is nice for a change, after so many extravagant meals at the palace. So, what sort of cleaning do you need to do?
Got a nice place, though.
Yeah, he does! Oh my gosh, like those bookshelves.
There's some items in my room I need to gather and return to the order. Then I need to organize some documents for Julian.
And when that is all done, what will you do? Fritz stares at me blankly. The look takes me by surprise. Will you have any other obligations to the order?
Oh.
That's all he could say was, oh.
I guess.
He smiles a little sheepishly.
There might be a few more things, but I should be done by the end of the week.
The room quiets as we focus on the meal. I am not bothered by the silence. I always found these moments of quiet relaxing, especially in Fritz's company. The silence persists until Fritz gets to his feet and smiles down at me.
How about some warm tea for the cold weather?
That just sounds nice. That would be nice, thank you.
Alright, give me a few moments then.
He's on his way to the kitchen when he stops and glances over his shoulder.
Feel free to make yourself at home.
Don't mind if I do! He disappears into the kitchen, leaving me by myself. When he is gone, I'm aware of how absolutely still the manor is. The only sounds I hear are coming from outside. I make my way to the window and stare outside, baffled. It is pouring. The streets are mostly empty, filled with nothing but deep puddles. No wonder it is so quiet. I like the sound effects in this game. Like, it's gotten a lot better. I turn away from the window and begin to wander around the living room. Not much has changed since I first came here 2 years ago. The house is still impersonal, even when it belongs only to Fritz. At least, that is what I think. But as I'm looking around, I come across a small framed illustration that does not look familiar to me. That's his mom! It is a small portrait, but the woman featured in it makes me pause. Her hair is white as the clouds. Her eyes are soft brown. Her smile is gentle and reminds me of... Fritz? I pick the framed portrait up and flip it over. There are words written on the back in a cursive slant. I read them aloud. To my wife, you are the sun and I the world. I hope that I can continue to bask in your warmth for the rest of my days. Carrying on with the sun metaphor here. Interesting. And again, the sun is also a star. Tying it all together here. The signature beneath takes me by surprise. Alcaster? I face the kitchen, my heart beating erratically in my chest to set the portrait down. I'm even more surprised when I notice Fritz standing behind me, holding a simple tray with a single teacup on it. His eyes stray to the floor, and I follow his gaze to see another teacup turned over and broken. Are you okay? Fritz lets out a nervous laugh.
I'm fine, Lisette. It was just a clumsy misstep.
The plot thickens. He sets the tray down on the table, walks off, and returns the materials to clean up the shattered cup and spilled tea. When he's done, Fritz gestures absently the remaining teacup. Though he's smiling at me, his gaze seems far away. He looks shaken. I take the cup of tea from him with some worry.
Sorry about that. You can have that cup and I'll go make myself another.
Something's going on! I wonder what? Is it like an anniversary or something? And again, I tend to overthink it and it ends up being a stretch, but then there were a few times where I happened to hit the mark, but let's see. I cradled the cup of tea in my...
like, he can't be surprised to, like, think about his mother if the picture is sitting there, so...
Yeah! And yet, on the other hand...
It's not just that fact that...
Yeah. And yet, on the other hand, she's been popping up more and more lately. First there was the dagger, and then there's that portrait. It's like he's almost actively making sure.
Maybe he just never read the back and was surprised by the words?
I don't know. But it's almost like he's almost actively trying to divert away from his family history. It's really interesting. Anyways, I cradle the cup of tea in my hands and gingerly take a sip. The tea is warm and soothing. It helps release some of the tension in my body.
What do you think?
Why do you make this hard, game? Why do you make this hard?
How can you complicate something like a cup of
tea? This time I managed to do it, though. I just did it.
I mean, if you offer him the cup of tea, maybe you'll, like, acknowledge that he's a little shaken. You'll be like, I think you need this right now, and maybe try to get a little more out of him that way.
Yeah. And it makes me wonder if thanking him will be enough to make him start talking. Who knows?
I feel like if you just thank him, then he'll just wander off and, go make another cup of tea, but, he might disappear again like he does.
That is true. Let us give him an excuse to stay. We'll offer him it. That was a good point. You don't like it? Oh gosh, I just read that automatically!
You don't like it?
No, it's perfect, but I think you need it more than I do.
I'm finally set. I just accidentally tripped the tray and...
You're not fine, Fritz. Just admit it. Yep, captain's orders. Sit down and drink, Fritz. Or should I say princess's orders. Fritz's shoulders sag as he falls down into a chair at the table and takes the teacup from my hands. After some moments' hesitation, he begins to drink. 2 years ago, when I was stressed, Delora treated me to a mug of hot chocolate because it helped calm my nerves. Tea has a similar effect. Well, hot chocolate also fights Dementors, so there is that.
Is it just chocolate, or was that a special chocolate? I could never tell.
I think it was mainly chocolate. But then again, that was Lupin's go-to. I actually wonder. I have to look this up now. But I thought it was regular chocolate, really.
That makes sense.
Better? Fritz lowers the teacup and smiles apologetically. Actually, that was pretty good depth there. I totally forgot about that part in the original plot.
I'm sorry.
No apologies are necessary, Fritz. But you obviously have something on your mind.
Have I really become so easy to read?
Do I need to borrow the lines you said earlier?
Also, just when you spend enough time with people,
Yeah, they basically spent the equivalent...
You pick up on this small thing.
Yeah, they basically spent, the equivalent of a lifetime together, essentially. I can tell the difference between your clumsiness and your distress. I place my hand over his, and for a few moments, Fritz allows me to see past his usual facade. I am aware of the sadness in his eyes. When he does not speak, I move my hand away with a sigh. I glance back at the portrait that I picked up earlier. To my knowledge, that portrait has never been displayed in this room. That wasn't here before, was it?
No. I just recently put it out. I found it in my father's room and decided to display it in here.
That explains it. Oof. Fritz eyes the portrait with a sorrow so profound it makes my heart ache.
I don't really remember my mother's face, but I knew that was her the moment I saw her face. I'm sorry I reacted so strangely when you picked it up. My mind went blank when you read those words aloud. It's been a while since I've read them.
And again, I feel like this is why we need a prequel, because there's so many interesting stories they could go for with this. For a few moments, Fritz's eyes are far away. One of his hands forms a fist as he looks suddenly down at the table.
When you said my father's name.
He sighs.
It's hard sometimes remembering my father as someone who could actually love. His words on the back of the portrait remind me of the man he used to be.
And that just makes me wonder even more, like, what made him change? Because obviously it's more than just loyalty to Hildur. He's not a magic user. Fritz and his father never...
It's probably something tied in with his wife here.
Yeah, I just... Yeah, it just makes me even more curious. Like, I hope we get more of an explanation within the next few lines.
Yeah, like, it might even be, like, something tragic happened to his wife and, like, she died, and so he just kind of went crazy.
Yeah.
Or
like,
maybe he blamed someone who was, like, involved for her dying, so he was actually, like, vengeful at that point. Who knows?
Yeah. Probability is pretty good that it was a vengeful thing. Because, like, I mean, Fritz did say that, like, the day his mom didn't take a dagger was the day she died. So obviously something happened to her. But in terms of what? And to what extent magic was involved? No idea. And then somehow Alcaster got involved with Hildur and Myth. Again, no idea why it went that far. And then it even got to the point where he almost tried to take the throne for himself. I don't know if it was this ending or some other one, but like he actually tried to take over on GL at one point.
Well, that's fun.
But yeah, apparently, like, the Alcaster we see in this portrait and like the Alcaster that we could kind of know during the course of these two games are completely different people. So I got a lot of questions. Fritz and his father never seemed to get along. I never knew how terrible the relationship was until I learned that Alcaster was the one to curse Fritz. He may not have been the one to cast the magic, but he was the one that gave the command, and that is worse. I always doubted Alcaster loved Fritz. How could he when he was the one to curse him? It's so weird. It's so weird. It's... Now I'm thinking of that YouTube video. I still need to watch it though. From like one media critic about like the protagonists not really being fans of their parental figures, even though some of the decisions may have ended up with them being the way they are at that point. At the same time though, it always ends up being resentment on both parties. It's really interesting. Because like the examples they presented with that film, with that video, at least in like the screenshot of it, was Ladybird, which I haven't seen, and Fences, which I have seen 2 or 3 times. So I kind of wonder if it was one of those dynamics that led to Alcaster cursing Fritz.
Yeah, they either didn't get along with their parents, or their parents are dead. So...
Yep.
Can't have any family support coming in and just fixing everything.
Fritz leans back in his chair, a defeated expression on his face.
You know... Sometimes I think I've become exactly like him. Like my father, I mean.
I think he's referring to Varg. I stare at him, uncomprehending. What? Fritz, you're nothing but like Alcaster.
Are you sure? I used to believe that all knights were righteous and that the citizens of Antia were flawlessly kind-hearted. My father told me that was a naive notion, and I always judged him for being so critical of people. I strove to prove him wrong.
And now?
Now, I think I understand what he meant when he said that people abuse kindness.
Oof. Fritz's expression is as dark and gloomy as the weather outside.
People are always looking for someone to hate. They hide it behind smiles and pleasantries, but in the shadows they plot and scheme and blame their hardships on others.
Well, albeit different wording, that sounds way too similar to Hildur. Though, I think Hilder's perspective is worse. He looks up at me and I can tell that he's referring to the witches who kidnapped me 3 days ago. Wait, it's been 3 days already? Time flew.
Witches, fairies, humans, they're all the same. They're all conniving in their own ways, no matter who or what they are.
I was just saying that! He sounds like Mother. Especially this sentence.
You give them power and they abuse it. You show them kindness and they walk all over you.
Yeah, especially this sentence right here. This is like Hildur in a nutshell. Like, she just basically like thought like, and it was very Machiavellian. That's the word. It's very Machiavellian in terms of perspective. It's like you show 1 inch of vulnerability, they'll give you a mile of oppression or excuse to walk all over you. No.
People only bow their heads because they fear.
And that's Alcaster talking now. He breaks off suddenly. His hands are shaking, but whether from rage or shock, I cannot tell. Abruptly, he looks away. Yeah, that last sentence, like, definitely, that's his dad, Alcaster. Like, right there, like that bowing for fear, bowing due to fear. Alcaster, right there. What the?
You see, sounds like exactly like something my father would say.
Yeah, I just... It's been, like... Actually, come to think of it, it's actually been exactly 1 year. Like, today is actually exactly 1 year since I did this playthrough. I think I was at Fritz's plot at this point. So... I think that's why I'm remembering it now. Something his father would say, and something Varg would have said. The Holy Trinity, Alcaster, Hildur, and Varg. I just said all three of them, didn't I?
Their unholy trinity.
The unholy trinity. Has Fritz really felt that way all this time? I do not know what happened to Alcaster to make him so bitter. I do not know what happened to make him despise all those around him. But I do know about Fritz's circumstances. I know he has been pressured for a very, very long time, and I know that he has given far more than he has ever received. And I know that sometimes he forces a smile on his face to hide his true feelings. I used to think that Fritz was relentlessly optimistic, but the last 2 years have changed him. I walk over to him. He's still staring down at the table when I wrap my arms around his neck from behind.
I don't want to be like him.
Oh my god. I think if anybody can relate, it's definitely Lucette, considering everything that like her mother's done. Because like the way they talk is exactly the same. Oh gosh. His voice is just a whisper. You are not like him. Your father allowed hatred to consume his life, but you battled the compulsion relentlessly. He was pessimistic about everything, but you hide your negative feelings away in the hope that you can overcome them. You are strong, Fritz. Strong enough to shoulder your own burdens and to still carry mine on your back as well. You're the strongest person I know. Plant a kiss on the top of his head. Every time you feel like this, please come talk to me. I tell you about my concerns, and I want you to be able to speak to me, too. I pull away so that I can face him. Let me help you the same way you have helped me. Oh my gosh! This is too sweet. Fritz looks up. Our eyes connect. The smile on his face does not reach his eyes. Yeah, much like Waltz, I think it's a case of PTSD here. Oh.
Some knight in shining armor I am. I can't even remain optimistic for my princess.
Oh? I was under the impression that you were no longer a knight. Oh! His expression falls even further at that, and I immediately regret my words. I know that there is more on Fritz's mind than he is telling me. I know, however, that he will not share any of it. Fritz always shuts down when he thinks he's inconveniencing me. Oof. The atmosphere in the room is heavy, and the rain does not help the mood any. It is impossible to cheer Fritz up in such a dismal place. I look up and focus on the rain jamming on the window pane. At first my mind is blank, filled with nothing but the soft sounds of the rain. Then, suddenly, an idea occurs to me. I stand and flash a smile at Fritz. I'm going outside. I know what she's gonna do! I know what she's gonna do!
Is she gonna go catch raindrops on her tongue?
Yes, she is!
Wait, set!
I step outside before he can stop me. The moment I step outside, the rain cools my skin. It is coming down so heavily my dress is soaked in mere minutes.
Set, what are you doing?
Bruh, you know what she's doing. Fritz stands in the doorway, staring at me owlishly. He looks equal parts confused and amazed. I turn and laugh. What is it, old man? Are you afraid you will get wet if you follow me out here? Fritz is gaping at me. He looks like a fish out of water, which makes me laugh even harder. I prefer this look to the frown he was wearing earlier. Now, if I could only get him to smile.
Of course not. But, Set, you're going to get soaked.
As if she isn't already. I think it's a little too late for that, Fritz. This game's reading my mind. I turn and begin to walk away. Fritz chases after me. There is no one out in this rain. I do not have to worry about being approached. Well, you thought the same thing when you got baked goods, and look at what happened then. But anyway, this is too romantic. I'm not going to ruin it. I break into a run. I have no idea how far I can get before Fritz closes the distance between us, but I feel that I need to get him away from that house. Inside, he becomes trapped with memories of people who are lost to him. He allows sadness to consume him.
Lisette, where are you going?
I dug into an opening between the trees. My footsteps do not shatter the quiet reverie of the forest. In fact, the forest feels even more peaceful beneath the steady downpour. It's not long before I hear Fritz behind me. I have only just ducked underneath the branches of a blooming tree when I feel his hand on my back. I turn and I'm shocked when I see the crooked grin on his face. I feel myself backing into a tree before I can help it. Oh gosh, it's turning into an anime now! Fritz draws closer and closer until that grin is mere inches away from my face. Oh.
Hello.
90s anime fans will know what I'm talking about. But it's like it's just a meme. Like I think it's called the Kabudon. He is close enough that I can feel his breath on my cheeks. I shudder and I'm not entirely sure it's because of the rain or Fritz's expression.
Looks like you've been caught, Miss Runaway.
And it looks like her running away did her job, so touché. His smirk is short-lived. It soon fades to a frown so cold it makes my heart sink. Dang it! The sadness is persistent. Bring in the tub of hot chocolate. What is your Patronus, Fritz? We need to find out.
What will you do now? How do you plan on escaping?
I can see something in Fritz's eyes. Something I've never seen before. A challenge? Wait, what? Okay. I'm trying to throw myself against him, but Fritz quickly stops the movement by pressing himself closer to me. I gasp, suddenly aware of the warmth of his body. Even beneath the soaked clothes, he radiates a lulling heat. I look up at him with determination, but falter when I notice the emptiness in his eyes. Rain trails down his skin, making it look like as if there were tears coursing down his cheeks. Oh boy. Fritz? He sets his hand on my shoulder. He's so close that I can feel his heartbeat reverberating through my body.
Lisette, I can't lose you.
Oh my god! It's like a bodyguard's worst fear. Fritz? Slowly his fingers fall away from my wrists. He raises his head slightly, but his voice is nothing but a whisper.
If someone trapped you like this in an alley, if you weren't able to take out the dagger in time, if you were kidnapped and I wasn't with you.
Oh no! He takes a deep, shaky breath.
If anything ever happened to you, I would never forgive myself.
Oh my god! I cannot help but recall what Fritz said about the daggers he gave me. He told me that it was his mother's. That the day she died, she did not take it with her. Was his mother killed? That's what I kind of assumed considering his reaction. I think back to Fritz's anxiety, to the faraway look in his eyes when he discusses father and mother. I don't understand. Not completely, but... I put my hands on Fritz's chest and slowly, gently, push him away so that I can look into his eyes. You will never lose me. I hold his gaze with confidence. My friends died so I could continue to hope for a better world. Those of us who survived have the obligation to keep that dream alive. I believe in you, Fritz. So please, believe in me. Fritz breathes out softly. Once again, I feel the warmth of his breath on my cheeks. I continue to look at him, waiting. Finally, the silence breaks and he smiles at least softly. It is a small and fragile smile, but The honesty in it is revealing. It is relieving.
You really are something else, Lucette.
He pulls a strand of wet hair from my face and cups my face in his hand.
Yes, I trust you.
He bridges the gap between us in a heartbeat. Whoa! We got like Breakfast and Tiffany's up in here. Or should I say The Notebook? Our lips meet, and despite the bitter cold of the air around me, I'm suddenly warm. I do not protest when he slides his hand down the length of my back into my waist. Our kiss, which starts small and hesitant, eventually grows deeper, bolder. The feeling of the rain on my skin fades completely as I focus on the sensation of his lips against my own, on the comforting and stable press of his body. When Fritz finally pulls away from me, his mischievous smile was enough to send a shudder of anticipation coursing through me.
Strange. I could have sworn you weren't a witch anymore, yet I have the distinct feeling that you put me under a spell.
Smooth! He twines his fingers through mine with a smile.
Have you had enough of this rain?
So long as you're feeling better, yes.
After that, who wouldn't?
I nudge him in the shoulder, but he just laughs merrily. But hey, he's smiling again, which is good.
Let's return before you catch a cold.
The two of us make our way back through the forest and toward his home. Once we're back inside, Fritz fleeces my hand and shakes his head, scattering raindrops over the floor. Despite our best efforts to dry ourselves, we both still make puddles on the floor. Fritz claps a hand on my shoulder. His touch, even through the fabric of my clothes, sends electricity coursing through my body. Isn't that called static shock? Or static cling?
I can spray a bath for you, princess. That should help warm you up. Oh, is it gonna be like one of Waltz's baths here? Oh, sorry. I mean, Lucette.
Wait, did you say princess again? Let me see. Yep, he did!
Yeah.
He did! Whoops. Oh my god!
Ooh.
I prefer you keep me warm instead. What am I reading? The words are slippery and out of my mouth before I can regret them. Fritz stares at me looking equal parts flustered and shocked. Wow. Then slowly his lips begin to curl in a smile. Oh!
That's no order.
Oh god! Yes?
Well then, as you command, Your Highness.
Okay, I did not expect to go this direction. Do I have to put an advisory on this? He slides behind me and plants a kiss on the nape of my neck. Then before I can react, he picks me up and walks towards his bedroom with a cocky smile on his face.
This is actually a lot more convenient. I was wondering where I was going to find your change of clothes, but now it looks like I needn't worry.
did not expect it to go this direction at all.
maybe just stop saying words for a little bit.
I will say though, the painting over the bed is cute. It's not making it any better, is it? He pushes the door in the bedroom open with his foot and walks me inside into a quiet and gentle darkness punctuated only with the soft rattle of rain against the windows. The two of us spend some time in each other's company, laying close enough together to stay warm in the cold and silent home. By the time I return to the palace, the cold has abated, and I am filled with a lingering and hopeful warmth. Well, that got interesting, and we're not even in chapter 3 yet. We're not even in chapter 3 yet, and so much has happened. It has been
Well, at the very least, it seemed like nothing actually happened.
Yes.
You know.
Yes. I mean, but even with that, it's just like so much emotional push and pull. It has been 3 days since the intense rainfall. 3 days since I very nearly spent the night in Fritz's home. I would have probably slept the night away in his arms, not for the fact that I expected the palace guard would be like that. I would have probably slept the night away in his arms, if not for the fact that I suspected the palace guard would come looking for me if I did not return. Fritz and I walked back to the palace the first opportunity we got, but that did not stop my family from worrying. Uh-oh. There we go. Ever since that day, Fritz has been sleeping in his room at the palace. Whether to be closer to me or to avoid going back to his home, I'm not sure. Perhaps it is both. Fritz leans against my desk with a smile, calm and collected as usual.
I don't have much time to spend before I have to meet with the king, but... You called me here because you had a special request, right? What can I do for you?
I sit up a little straighter on my bed, hoping that my gaze holds nothing but resolve. I want Fritz to take my next words seriously. Which are they, I wonder? Teach me how to use your mom's dagger. Maybe. Maybe.
Teach me self-defense.
I've been thinking about this ever since he gave me the dagger. Fritz, I would like you to teach me something. Oh, God!
Teach me something?
Okay, let me get this straight. We're still... Who is he? We're still in chapter 2. We're still in chapter 2. And all of this happened? Honestly, I don't know whether to simmer with this or keep going. Because it's like, there's a lot going on here.
Yeah. Let's see. I feel like if you learn how to hide, one, you'll be more prone to sneaking into places that are more dangerous.
Right.
That you might avoid otherwise.
Mm-hmm.
And also, if you are hiding and you get found, that's just kind of the end of that.
Yep.
I personally feel like it would be more useful to learn to defend yourself.
Yeah.
But
Plus, again, that dagger. We need to use the it's like Chekhov's gun. Like, why would you pull out that device if you're not going to use it? Though at the same time, though, it's like, if he wants to make it more of a last resort thing. Actually, no. Yeah, I'm leaning towards defend myself even as well. So I'll just see where it goes.
Defend yourself. Huh.
Understanding lights his face when I reach into my drawer and pull out the knife he gave me. I mentioned this before, but carrying around this knife is useless if I do not know how to use it. It's not just about using the knife, though. I would like to learn to protect myself even without the weapons. I think back to the moment Fritz captured me in the forest. He told me to free myself, and I was unable to do so. Even if I wanted to, I would have been unable to reach for the knife.
I'd rather you didn't have to use the knife at all.
Why'd you give it to me
yeah,
then?
I think that is the general consensus.
But at the same time, though, why'd you give it to me then? I know, like, besides family heirloom status, but, like, besides that, what's the point?
Well, yeah, I hope I don't have to use it either, because that means I am pinned against my will and in danger. So...
And if I have to use the knife, which I remind you, you basically gifted to me? Exactly. I know how protective Fritz is. I know he does not want to hurt me or watch me be hurt, and that is why I believe he will give in to this request. Even something simple will help. I do not want to be a burden, Fritz. Not to you and not to myself. I may no longer have magic, but that does not mean I am incompetent. On that, I agree. Finally, Fritz relents. His sullen gaze slips into a smile.
I love your confidence, Lucette. It's inspiring.
Yay!
I will do anything to protect it. To protect you. So yes, I'll teach you the basics of defense. I only hope you'll never have to be in another situation where you have to use the techniques. It's like what they say when you learn karate or whatever, right?
Yep. Train yourself well with this and pray you don't have to use it. Yep. Especially like with any kind of armed business. Just pray you don't have to use it. And there's even that Amazon saying for like Themyscirans, I forget what it is, but it's like well, in summary, it's like in multiple words, but in summary, it's basically try to take the pacifying action when possible, make the violent thing the last resort. But yeah. Well.
Or even like my mom says about paying insurance companies. She's like, you hope you're wasting your money.
Wow. I mean, in a way, she's not wrong, though. Oh, wow. Well, thank you, Fritz.
You never need to thank me, Lucette. Yeah, but people want to do it anyway. Just take the compliment.
Take the compliment.
We'll do our practices in the forest. There you can learn both evasion and defense.
Yay! More forest time! He stands up, and when he raises his eyebrows, I can see a familiar confidence. A challenge sparkling in his eyes. He steps forward and plants a quick kiss on my lips.
I'm looking forward to seeing you triumph.
As am I. I will triumph. I promise.
I believe it.
Fritz offers me one last smile before excusing himself to run the day's errands. And now we're in Chapter 3. The Shadow of the Memory. It's like... so many things were happening. And then it's like... nope, we're not done yet. Just when you think it's like you get to some critical decision, nope, not done yet. Then we get to this point, nope, not done yet. And then finally, with the decision
That's still not the end.
And then finally, there's a dagger in my drawer. Can you please help me use it? Yes! Now we're in the next one. Just... This game...
I have this dagger. I want to be able to do daggery things.
This game... I forgot how much it can test me sometimes, but I enjoy it. I enjoy it. Because it goes through some pretty interesting stopping points, I will say. Like, every time I play this, it's just fun. And it makes me think, of course. Like, I reference a lot of stuff, but I mean, it does help. It does help.
Makes you ask some of the bigger questions.
Yeah. Like, is the best offense really? Is the best defense really a good offense? How much are we like our parents? Or our shadow selves? And which dessert is better? Candied apple or a baked pastry?
Well, I mean, some questions will just never have answers, so let's not get crazy.
Yeah. But yeah, so on that note, I feel like this might be a good place to pause, because now we have finally gotten to Chapter 3 after so many amazing moments. So I'm excited to see what's going to happen next. But in the meantime, we're going to be streaming Barony. I think we are streaming Barony on Monday, right?
Yes, that is the plan.
Okay, so we got Barony on Monday, and also, because I am currently on spring break, that means I'm going to be playing just a bit more stuff this week. So I'm hoping to get some more Prince of Persia Sands of Time. I'm in a boss battle right now, or some sort of passage that I need to get through that is absolutely confusing. So hopefully we'll figure that out that stream. Maybe some more DDR if my fitness is up to that. It's been a while since I've done it, but I'm sure I could probably handle it. And any other games I happen to think of, we will get to it a day at a time. And of course, got some other stuff coming up. So we've got the Fiverr shop. Feel free to check out my stuff there. Hopefully, if things go according to plan, which so far they kind of are, hopefully I will be in Vegas by the end of this year. For the Star Trek Las Vegas convention. I heard it's pretty huge. It's pretty cool. Like, I mean, we've always wanted, like, my family and I always wanted to go there, but we'll see. They moved to the new Caesar's Palace convention center, which I heard is really nice. So I'm kind of excited. And of course, here's all my other stuff if you want to check out my other things that I do. I upload these replays on my YouTube. Excuse me. I upload these replays on my YouTube pretty much the day after I do these live streams. So hopefully, if you didn't get a chance to catch it live on Twitch, you can catch it on my YouTube channel. And of course, I also do my TikTok as well. So, anyways, thank you so much for joining me on this very, very fun and rather dramatic episode of Cinderella Phenomenon Evermore. Stay safe out there. Make sure you drink responsibly, especially the fact that there's going to be St. Patrick's Day this week. or as New Yorkers call it, Maliki McCourt Day. Happy, happy. And, of course, may your heart be your guiding key. Till next time, I'll see you later. Bye!
Bye!